No. Not ever.
Why didn't you say this to me when I was alive?
Netflix renews its controversial hit show 13 Reasons Why for a second season. The show is based on a novel and revolves around the suicide of a high school girl. Critics say the show glorifies teen suicide. Some schools across the country have sent warning notes to parents to talk to their teens about the show. The creators say it teaches an important lesson on the dangers of bullying. Netflix has added additional warnings before some episodes. Season 2 is expected to continue the storyline from the first season, focusing on the surviving characters' complicated journeys towards healing and recovery.
My husband and I, we never got a note.
She was the doctor in one of those shows. She was really good.
Yeah, Grey's Anatomy.
Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah,
yes.
in private practice. 13 Reasons Why, that's what you were just seeing right there, is the most tweeted show in 2017. We want to talk about it. So we brought in a child psychiatrist, Dr. Anna Shire, to join us to talk about this and open the conversation, especially if you have kids in that age bracket that might be watching it. I had no idea about this show, but my kids are little. Thank you.
Oh,
yes.
my pleasure, my pleasure.
Well, first of all, give us overall thoughts on kids viewing something like this.
So my biggest concern, well, on one hand, I think this is a fantastic show because it's a vehicle that's allowing parents to bring up the topic of teen suicide with their kids, which really is something that is not talked about nearly enough in households. So on one hand, it's a great opportunity for parents to have awareness and have that open conversation with their teens. On the other hand, the entire show, it's almost like a really long revenge story about a girl who has committed suicide. So at the onset, you know that she's committed suicide. And each tape, there's 13 episodes, each tape is dedicated towards somebody who she feels was the reason for her committing suicide. So it's very much about, you know, you did this to me, and it shows her experience of getting bullied, of sexual assaults that she's witnessed and had happened. So it's very, very triggering for some individuals, and definitely for the younger audience. I don't think it's appropriate, particularly not with parental guidance there.
It also has been criticized, though, for kind of glamorizing this whole topic.
Yes, absolutely, because essentially she gets such an intense revenge towards everybody who's on those tapes. They're worried about their future. How is it going to affect their colleges? Are they going to be arrested? The school is under a lawsuit from the parents, so the children are terrified as they're listening to their story unfold on the tape.
Yeah, I didn't know it was a revenge piece, which is interesting. So if you got, you know, like I said, earlier, my 15-year-old daughter was watching this, and it was about halfway through before I finally said to her, well, what is this 13 Reasons about? Why are you so addicted to this thing and you're so into it? She's like, well, it's about teen suicide. I remember my breath kind of went, oh, that's what it's about? Yeah. And you make a great point. We really do need to be more conscious about what our kids are seeing, right?
Yeah. And fortunately, there are really positive things that have come from the show. There's a school out in Detroit that has come up with 13 Reasons Why Not. And they have students who have struggled with suicidal thoughts come onto the morning announcements and tell times that they've had suicidal thoughts that they've struggled with, and a friend or an adult who's helped them and become the reason not for following through with their suicidal thoughts. So there have been some positive things that have come from it. My fear, though, is that the kids who are already struggling with depression and already have thoughts of suicide who are exposed to something like this are at much greater risk for following through with it after being exposed.
Because they say, oh, this person, this character did it.
Yes,
and it's getting all this attention.
Yes.
So do you suggest, if we are a parent with kids this age, that maybe go ahead and watch it, but watch it together, and then don't leave it as just we watch a show and we all move on about our day.
Right,
you have to talk about it.
Or even watch it before your child to see if that's something that you think is appropriate for them, if they're mature enough for them, and then watch it in segments so that you can discuss it after. There's actually a phenomenon that's called suicide contagion that shows in the research that kids who have been exposed to other children or even media of a suicide, especially in their age range, are at a much greater risk for thinking about and committing suicide themselves. There was a study in 2013 of 12 and 13-year-olds whose classmates had, whose one classmate had killed themselves, and they're at 5 times greater risk for the thoughts and the actions. So it's very serious, and it's something that parents do need to keep in mind. The nice thing about the show is that they go over a little bit about what to watch for, what types of signs to look for if your child is isolating. But the thing is, they didn't really show the teenager in the movie or in the show as being depressed. 90% of individuals who commit suicide are suffering from depression, which is something that's treatable. So, you know, that was another frustration about the show for me, because she does reach out to one adult in the show that's a school counselor, but he does not manage the situation well. He almost makes her feel even more victimized because he's asking questions about a rape and, you know, well, who's the name? You have to tell me. Nothing's going to happen if you don't tell me. And then she walks out of the office after having said, you know, I just don't even want to live this life anymore. And then he lets her go. So the message is that, you know, the one adult that she did try to go to, it was
Didn't come through.
Right. And it was even more traumatizing.
Wow.
Well, thank you for coming in here and talking
Yeah.
to us about this.
Thank you.